Welcome to Pending the Real Meal, and we're at episode number 6. Wow, we are at episode number 6. We've got to number 6, and today we are going to Romania. Romania. Wow.
Okay.
Amazing. Last week we were in Ethiopia and people were so excited about Ethiopia, and I'm sure they're going to be excited about Romania as well. Okay, so I would love for you to like, share and subscribe and make some nice comments. Okay? Like, share, subscribe. Alright, thank you.
So guys, for those of you who probably haven't seen any of our videos of the past, the reason why we are doing this is because we are in lockdown. We've been in lockdown for quite a while now, and we are just trying to make sure that this year's lockdown does not stop us from enjoying the world. And just seeing what's out there.
Okay, so this week we decided to try out the tripe soup, the polenta, we did cabbage rolls, and we also did a Romanian meatball. And then we added a dessert which is coming up shortly. I can't wait to try it. It's a donut. And the ingredients are quite interesting. I'll tell you while we're eating it, okay? But yes, we have 5 dishes here. Looking forward to sampling them or tasting them.
Here we have the tripe soup, also hopefully referred to as Ciorba de Burta.
Ciorba de Perisoare.
So we are gonna begin.
Very good.
It's just like a tripe soup with cream.
Yes, what I found was that the Romanians use a lot of dairy products and a lot of carrots, and that was like a common theme throughout. So one of the interesting things about the Romanian dishes were that they had dill and bay leaves as part of their seasonings. There was no other country that had dill as a main flavoring. I found that interesting. Yeah. And I mean, what they do too is that, like, you put egg in a soup. So there's egg in the soup, and there's sour cream as well. And can you imagine? Tripe. Something that we have in Jamaica all the time.
Okay guys, so now we have the main meal. Then we have the cabbage stuffed with meat, which is
flavored mince. Yes.
Yep. And then we have some meatballs and polenta.
Let's try the polenta.
I gotta say it was a bit like grits. I mean, I don't know if I've ever had grits, to be honest, but
it's the kind of thing you need to eat along with meat. And it's like,
but it's a very savory one.
Very nice, yeah.
Sweet one. It's like savory cognac. So I like cheese and stuff in there. Tastes good.
Yeah. So let's try the cabbage roll.
Oh. Teaspoon cabbage roll. Wow.
Wow. It's very good. The flavors.
I didn't expect it to taste
Neither me.
this good, actually.
You know, normally we
That's
cheat
weird.
and taste some of these foods, but we couldn't cheat. We couldn't cheat on this one.
This one, yeah.
Because it came out of the oven and it was so hot. we couldn't taste it before, but this is a good surprise, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Pardon me while I enjoy some of this food. I was hoping to be able to tell you how I made it, but
Is there rice in here?
yes. And that's a very interesting story. Tell you about the cabbage roll, and I'm hoping that we might be able to show you a photograph of how I made it. So made a mince, seasoned it up with all the nice seasonings, dill and all of what they asked for, and then boil the cabbage, the whole cabbage. So boil the water, put the cabbage in for just 3 minutes, take it out to let it cool, and then take off the cabbage leaves, so that you then put a little bit of meat on the cabbage,
Yeah.
and roll it into an envelope, and then that's what you're seeing there. Now what's interesting is, now having done that, you then take the balance of the cabbage, chop it up, mix it with the sauerkraut, and put a layer of sauerkraut, put a few strips of bacon, then you put the cabbage rolls on top.
There's bacon in here.
It's bacon in there. And what's interesting is that remember that the meat is not yet cooked, so the meat is uncooked at this time. So we put it to boil, and all of this should have been done in a Dutch oven, which we don't have, so we used a Pyrex dish instead. So you boil the vegeta. So I had to create this thing called vegeta, and with bay leaves and peppercorn. There's this water that you pour over the sauerkraut and the cabbage, and put it in the oven. It takes quite a long time. As I told Cymone, this was one of the most back-breaking meals I've ever made, because it took us 3 hours to make the soup and another 3 hours to make the cabbage roll. So a lot of hard work, but it was worth it. So Cymone, we're going to taste the beef balls.
Okay.
Interesting.
Wow.
Very spicy.
I wouldn't say spicy. It's not spicy like hot.
It's not hot, but has a lot of
Flavors.
in there.
I don't know. I think I was looking at it and I thought it would taste like what we would make as a meatball.
Not at all.
But
Because as a matter of fact, this is supposed to be a soup, but we're not eating it as a soup. So you make the soup, then you drop the balls in, and when the balls start to float, then that's an indication that it's ready.
so what's in this? There's rice as well in this one.
Oh yes, and I was to tell you about the rice. So interesting thing about it is that they fry their onions and carrots, because they use a lot of carrots. So you shred the carrots, mix the onions and sometimes celery, and you put 2 or 3 tablespoons of rice.
Okay.
And the rice
Is
is
it
raw, uncooked
okay.
rice. And so that's fried into the onions. And then they pour hot water on that and cook it down. Just about a 1/4 cup of hot water to get the rice to absorb the water. And so, yeah, that was quite interesting for me. I've never seen that before.
They're very filling foods.
Yes.
Like, I think each of them you could probably have as a meal by itself.
That's why I was saying to you that it was a lot of hard work.
Yeah, the meatball definitely tastes like something I've just never had It's I'd love to know how to describe it. It almost tastes tinny, so it tastes like something that they would preserve. That's the vibe I'm getting. Like it's something that you would probably keep and have during a war.
Oh,
I don't know.
yeah, because
lick it up.
It's true, because this doesn't taste like something that could spoil for a long time. It could probably last for a couple of days. Well,
I don't know. Even the cabbage, like it seems like the dishes that they make are resourceful. You know, so it almost seems like what we in Jamaica would probably have like as a hard time dish. I don't know if that makes sense.
You mean tripe?
Yeah. Like pieces of meat that are not necessarily choice meats. The use of cabbage is kind of like, you know,
And cornmeal.
more of a you know, something that's a cheaper item to buy. But something as you say with the cornmeal, so it's very much doing a lot with little. You know, that's the impression that I have gotten from this.
Yeah.
But that's obviously based on my Western understanding of the world.
So now we move on to our donut, right? And this donut is made of eggs and flour and sour cream and guess what? Cheese, which is very interesting. So made the dough, put it down for a little, and then separated it, made it into these little donuts and fried it. And so we're now serving that with jam and, in our case, yogurt, but they recommended sour cream. All right, so
We shall dig in.
crispy.
This is our fault, not theirs. Okay.
Very nice little dessert. Nice little cake.
Oh, interestingly tastes the cheese.
Very good. Very unusual.
It's kind of like a donut, but because it has like the yogurt and the jam, I think the yogurt kind of changes the flavor profile. It's not really donutty anymore. It's like a delicacy.
Yeah, it's a nice dessert.
Makes it light on. Airy.
That's it. Welcome to Fun Facts. One of the really interesting things about Romania is that it's the home of Dracula. I found that very interesting. Anyway, so on May the 10th they celebrate their Independence Day. And would you believe it's independence from the Ottoman Empire from 1877? Can you imagine? So this is a very old country in terms of its establishment, and they have been free from 1877. Wow. Anyway, so another very fun fact I found was that it's the home of the world's heaviest building. And so it's called the Palace of Parliament, which took about 7 years to build. It's very huge, right? 12 stories high, costs approximately $2.5 billion to build. Maybe about 100,000 persons were on that building site at any point. Hundreds of them obviously died because of the extensive nature of this work. It has 1,100 rooms. Most of those rooms remain vacant today. The annual heating bill is 4.63 million pounds, equivalent of that of a small city. There are 8 underground levels. So you talk about 12 stories, 8 underground, so that's 20 in all. And there are like lots of tunnels and bomb shelters and all of that going on underneath. It has 3,500 tons of crystal, 480 chandeliers, 700,000 tons of steel and bronze, and in the Guinness Book of Records it's regarded as one of the heaviest buildings in the entire world. So another fun fact is that when we go there, we might have the opportunity to view the largest mammal in the world. It had been hunted to extinction, they thought, but there's a whole bunch of them still alive. They weigh like 1,400 pounds. Can you imagine? And so there's a rare sighting that you may have of the bison, the European bison it's called. Yeah.
Okay, so one other fun fact was that the film Borat, well, at least the part where they referred to where Borat was born or grew up, is in Romania in a place called Glod. And actually some of the residents of that area were cast to like be extras in the film. And it would seem as though what happened is, because obviously Borat is a kind of a controversial film, a lot of them didn't actually realize that this was what the film was going to be about, and as a result they ended up taking legal action. This did not really amount to anything, but they still at least tried.
That's a fun fact indeed. Yeah. All right.
I guess the former host of Top Gear's Jeremy Clarkson, he said that there's a road in Romania, I will put the name because I'm not trying to pronounce that, but yeah, he said that road is actually the prettiest and best driving road in the world that he's come across so far. So yeah, that would be something
very interesting,
because he's saying the views and just just the experience while driving a road, because there's a lot of like hairpin loops and just like a lot to do, and I guess no potholes. So that's always a great experience when you don't have a pothole. But yeah, fun fact, England has potholes. Okay, breaking news. Yeah, so Jamaicans don't feel too bad because there are potholes here. Now that we've experienced Romania, what would you say is your favorite thing that you like?
Oh, my favorite was the dessert. The dessert was awesome. Was that your favorite?
It really was.
Yes, it was awesome. It was a nice cake. It came up quite well, and with the jam and the yogurt, it was really good.
I think what surprised me the most was the cabbage and the meat.
Oh yes, I enjoyed making that.
Pleasant surprise, I must say, because I don't know what I was expecting, but even because it was sauerkraut, so it's a very sour, tangy food, but it really meshed well, and the flavors came together pretty nicely.
And with the polenta, right? With the
polenta was good.
Yeah. I enjoy that.
I actually enjoyed Romania. A lot of the landmarks, hopefully you'll be seeing them throughout this video, but a lot of the landmarks are places that are quite exquisite. Like, you can tell that time went into
it's an old society, so there are lots of history, and
you can tell there were like hundreds of thousands of people that built these structures.
Exactly.
They're clearly really good architects that live in Romania. Yes. So it seems to be quite a beautiful land, and somewhere that I would love to go. Yeah. That we need to go, and hopefully soon
we'll get to go.
But until then, we will see you guys in the next video. I am Cymone,
and I am Jacqueline,
and this is
pending the real meal.